just checking it out, seeing if this stays going. Um, I'm hoping that it stays. All right. Let's see who we can get online. Okay, that's recording. All right. All right, let's see. All right. All right, let's see if we can get some people on. It looks like everything's going as it should. Excuse me while I just try to set up the technical details here. I'm trying to make sure that we're streaming live right now. Let's see. All right, I guess we are. Make sure volume works, and I'll shut it off. All right, if you're here, just check in with me and let me know that you are here, and we can start the discussion off. I don't want to really get into anything too crazy until we get some more people logged in, but fire off some questions while we're waiting for the group to join up, and hopefully we can get some viewers, because it'd be cool to have a nice discussion. We're sitting here Friday night. I'm sure a lot of you have had a busy week being on lockdown because of COVID-19, but I figured this would be a great time to have a discussion and talk about all kinds of things to do with photography. So definitely weigh in, and let's start kicking it off. So we've got 2 people on right now. I don't know how many people will get to join in, but I hope we get a fair amount. What else are you gonna do? Stuck in your house in quarantine. Why not have some hacker shore? All right. Anybody here? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller. If you're here, just check in. Just hit a comment on the live chat on the side. Let me know that you're here, um, and then I can start talking a little bit, and we'll go from there. But if we can't start hooking in some people, then I'm just gonna clip it and call it a day. Hopefully, I was hoping to get some people here because it would be nice to have a discussion since we're all stuck inside. Talk some cameras, talk new Fujifilm 100V. I put out a first impressions video on that not too long ago. Talk about some photography ideas that you can do while you're at home, stuck inside on the lockdown. Talk about some editing techniques, talk about some film cameras, specifically talk about contacts right here. Got the G1. Took this out shooting the other day. It was amazing. This is with the 28 millimeter Biogun lens, and this is a great lens. So yeah, fire away, guys, and let's get going and let's get a discussion rolling. I really wish they would stream these things. Here we go. Now we can get a good stream going. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Good. Better stream. Higher stream rate. Well, I don't know. I don't know who's here. I don't know who's logged in. It looks like there's a couple people watching right now, so I'm just going to start firing off. We are in the middle of a big pain in the ass situation where it really stifles your creativity, and we're kind of stuck inside, not being able to get out, not being able to do street photography, not really able to do wedding work. I had a wedding cancel last Friday. We were supposed to shoot, and the venue completely canceled the wedding, so that was off. Let me get my mic a little bit closer down here. There, oh, just out of frame here. So that was canceled. So yeah, photographers are losing business. Photographers are having a hard time, creating, and it's tough, man. I was really looking forward to our photo walk. We had a photo walk that was supposed to happen. Um, Actually, my wedding was supposed to be today. We were supposed to have a wedding today to shoot. And our photo walk for F8 Photographers Group, if you guys haven't joined up on that, please head over to Facebook and check out F8 Photographers Group and join up. It's a group of creatives shooting street photography, but really anything that you want to post on there is fine with me. But we were supposed to have our first photo walk tomorrow in New York City, right around Chinatown, Columbus Park. We were going to meet up, and we were just going to walk the city and start when we got there around 12 o'clock noon and end whenever. I definitely wanted to shoot at night because I wanted to take the G1 out, and I wanted to shoot Cinestill 800T with this. I was really looking forward to messing around with that film stock. But city's pretty much on lockdown. It looks like a ghost town up there. I've seen some pictures, I've seen some video, and there was like nobody around, so it would have been a bust. So here we are, kind of stuck inside, and I thought it would be a good idea to kind of come up with some ideas of things that you could do while you're stuck in your house trying to think of something to create. So I have my other laptop over here, and I'll just pull that up so I can go off of that. One of the things that I thought that would be a good idea, not only for the fact that you have some downtime and maybe you're not going to take as many pictures as you usually do, but also could help out some small businesses. would be to get your cameras serviced or repaired or CLA'd. So basically, you guys with film cameras, they can always use a good CLA. I'm sure some of them are getting gunked up. They're getting older now, so you really have to treat them with, care. So getting your camera right now CLA'd. I know one camera that I have right over here. I'm going to pull it out actually. This camera right here, I've been dying to get fixed for a while now, and that's the Contax RTS. This has a quartz trigger, a quartz shutter, and it went down. I've put a lot of rolls of film through this, and I love this camera, and it's in beautiful condition. They're not a lot of money, but my theory was I'm going to go buy a brand new one. Well, not a brand new one. I'm going to buy another used one and not know what problems I have, where I can go and send this one in and get it CLA'd and fixed, and now I know that it's perfect and working fine. So this might be a good time to go ahead and do that because, I have some downtime. So that would be a good idea that I had would be, to get your cameras CLA'd and checked out. The other thing would be look for some used gear that you guys have that you're not using, that you've been meaning to sell. I know from me that I get so caught up in trying to create every day that like these little menial tasks that I mean to do, I constantly put off. So even something as simple as selling used gear that I'm no longer using, I have in the back of my head like, yeah, dude, I got to sell that stuff, and then like I never do it because I got to take pictures of it, I got to list it, I got to figure out what I want to buy, what I want to sell it for, and what the going rate is, and how can I make sure that I'm going to get a good price for it. So right now would be a good time to do that. You're creating some some photography. Maybe you work on your product photography while you're taking pictures of the items that you want to sell, and you sell them, and maybe you make some money. Maybe it could help you out during this time if you're not getting paid or you're out of work. So that would be another thing that I would tell you to do, is try to thin out your gear a little bit. Another thing would be is to learn a new skill. So video has always been tough for me, and trying to work on doing more live streams and things of that nature. So again, that could be a good thing to do too, is try to learn a new skill, whether it be Photoshop, learning how to, do video, learning how to do vlogs, learning how to edit differently. All kinds of things you guys could be doing that you never really have time to do, but now maybe you can, work on that. I know a big thing that I'm going to work on is my audio. So that would be a cool thing to do. Another idea I had was create a blog or a YouTube page. There is no better time to do that. I wish I did this a long time ago. I wish I created my YouTube page a while ago and got in the game a lot sooner, but I didn't. So here I am now, not playing catch up really, but just, trying to put out good content. And I think of all the years that I was creating content left to right, but really my only way of displaying it was either on my webpage or even Instagram. But now would be a good time to either start a vlog, start a YouTube page, a channel. I'll subscribe to it. Start your own website, start your own blog, talk about anything you want to talk about photography related, or anything else that interests you. I don't, maybe it's not photography related, but now would be a good time to kind of sit down in front of that computer while you have the time, and maybe you're not as busy running around doing things that you normally would do outside of your home, and kind of work on creating different kinds of content. And I sat back a while, and I didn't create this page because I sat there and I said, like, what do I have to say that's important? Like, why is my opinion about this gear or that, or the way to do this, or the process, why is that important? And I figured it out that everybody else on YouTube are just normal people that have ideas. It doesn't mean that they are the be all end all of how things should be done. It's the way that they like to do it, and they've told you how they like to do it, and you could either follow what they do or you could do something completely different. So your opinion is just as valid as anybody else's. So get over that hump of worrying about what people think, and just express yourself and say what's on your mind, and talk about what's relevant to you and the way that you use your tube. It's nobody else's. All right, so have a good time with it. Work on your techniques at home. Again, you don't always have to be out to shoot photography, and you can do so much when you're in your own space. You're probably going to feel more comfortable. You're not going to worry about failing as much. You're not on a time schedule. You're not shooting for money. So work on your techniques at home. You can do so much in your own house. Abstract work, product photography, um, working on your exposure. Set up a mini studio in your house and work on your portraitures or your flash work. There's so much you can do. Um, if you go to my Instagram page, there's so many photos that are on that page that I've taken at my own house that just are pictures of nothing. But it's just the way that you crop and compose and angle yourself, and the way you light things, and the way you expose it, and the way you edit it on Lightroom, which can really be the difference. And it might be something really that you enjoy doing. And again, it's still going to get those creative juices flowing where you don't get stale, because this thing will pass. And when it does pass, we're all going to be out on the street again. And you may have improved greatly in an aspect of photography that you weren't expecting to. And now you can apply those tools when you get back out and work with your brides, your clients, your product photography, your street photography, whatever it may be. You'll have that because you've been practicing for the however many months we're going to be stuck, kind of doing this thing. Um, what else do we have? Another thing we can do at home is uh, start a photography project about this and start compiling my photos for what I wanted to do. But you're always, I constantly hear photographers like, hey, what are you going to do this weekend? What are you going to shoot? Oh, I got a backlog. I got a backlog of editing. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it's great because they're busy and they're paying their bills and they're doing their work. But the problem is that they never really get to do that thing that they really want to do for themselves. And if you don't do things for yourself, then your creative juice is gonna dry out. Your drive for photography is gonna burn out if you never do anything for yourself. If you never do any self projects. I've had a lot of projects on hold that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm gonna do them, and I'm gonna start organizing them. On this time where I'm home and I'm not, running out to restaurants or going to the store or hitting the gym because you can't. So you got to figure out ways to do things at home. And this is going to be a great time where I can compile my thoughts and really drive home the projects that I really wanted to start. Um, Another one I have is document your family in photos. I do this all the time with my daughter and my wife all the time. They're like my main models. I make them pose all the time, and they probably hate it, but it's a great time to, um, bond with your family, have nice discussions, document your family, have your family sit for portraits. I mean, listen, you and I know that life changes like that and it goes by so fast. And those of you that have children know that, like, you look at them and you turn around and they're different people, and it seems like, in a flash. So it's really a good thing now that if you're cooped up at home with everybody and you guys are close, that you have these great talks, these bonding moments, and do that with your photos. Use your photography as a bonding tool, as a tool to bond with your family, and document it, because you'll look back on it and you'll remember this time, not as a bad thing, is dealing with obviously everything that's happening in the world, but you'll remember it as a time where you guys got closer and you documented it in photography, because after all, that's what it's all about. um, everyday life. Whether, I mean, think about the things you could photograph. Your child doing homework, or you and your wife, and as a family making projects or making dinner. I mean, you can photograph so many things at home. So you definitely do that. Um, Another thing that I said is, teach a loved one some new skills. If you have something that you know how to do, and somebody else shows interest in it, teach them that. I know, again, a lot of us have children, and I know a lot of us that have children that are kind of into photography a little bit. And any of us that have kids all know that they all have phones, and they're playing with their phones, and they're doing TikTok, and they're taking pictures. Maybe say, hey, let me show you how to really take a nice picture. And if you're like me, with a wall full of cameras, You can certainly loan out one of the ones that you're not worried too much about, and you can teach them how to take photos and how to do photography. And who knows, you may spark something in them then. You may spark an interest that they may have that they didn't even know that they have, and it could be something it could be something life changing for them. They can end up becoming photographers like you did, and perhaps that becomes their calling. Perhaps that becomes their second income as they get older. Perhaps that, turns into something where they now learn about business. It doesn't always just have to be about the camera. It could be about everything that the camera leads to. And, if you have a skill and you're willing to teach somebody, then who better to teach than your own family, and especially your own child. So I think that could be a cool thing. Read books. You can read any books you want. For me, I read photography books. So I did a video, and I don't know if I can link it on this because it's live, but I did a video a while ago on photography books and how they can improve your photography. And now is no better of a time than anything to sit down, dig yourself into a good book, and learn some skills. Learn from the masters. Watch the old guard and the things that they've written about, and just really check out some of the old work that has passed already, and you'll learn a lot from it. You'll learn a lot about technique. You'll learn a lot about seeing things differently if you look at some of the old photography books. There's awesome photographers out there, and the books are endless. And if you're looking for my list, I definitely have it listed on my other YouTube channel. Not my other YouTube channel, but my other video, which is called Get Book Smart. And you'll see them all there, and the ones that I recommend that you could start with. And you could usually find them very cheap because, listen, nobody's reading anymore. So you can find these books that were $50, $60, $70 a while ago that now you can get, $7. This one right back here. This is where it all started for me. And I did a whole video on this book along with a few others. But this book right here, I got this book for $7, and I think when it came out, it was definitely a lot more than that. But this book right here is an amazing book with amazing photography by 200 of the world's leading photojournalists, all in one day. So I definitely recommend that book. It is an awesome book. And another thing is plan out your 2020 year, because I know all of you said that you were going to do it in January and you probably didn't do it. I know I probably didn't. I didn't do it. I had ideas about things that I wanted to do, and they're kind of logged into my head, but I didn't write them down. So write them down. Write them down on a list on the things that you want to accomplish with your photography in 2020, and start digging into it. Start the projects now because you have the time to do it. Well, hopefully you have the time to do it. While you're home, and you start organizing yourself and just setting goals for yourself that you want to accomplish in 2020. I definitely have a handful of goals. Some of them I started, some of them I need to start, but I'm on my way, and that's the most important part, is just starting. So I would definitely say that would be something to do. I don't know if we have anybody on here right now or not, but well, I think I'm going to cut this one. I thought we would get more people on a discussion, but apparently not. Alright guys, I'm going to cut it. Thanks for tuning in, and maybe you guys will watch this one when it replays as a channel. See ya.